Welcome one and all to the Lame Design Conference, wherein each edition my esteemed guest and I will take turns at attempting to pitch the worst possible video game to you, the fans at home, whilst a professional graphic designer and artist illustrates said pitches over our inane ramblings. The contestant who can pitch the stupider, more diabolically unenjoyable game will be crowned the winner by you, the audience, via a poll that will be linked in this video's pinned comment. If the winner is my guest, they'll be placed into the Hall of Lame at the end of the following episode. And if the winner is me, I'll go out and buy myself a milkshake and look very smug about it. Let's meet today's contestant. Hello and welcome back yet again to another edition of the Lame Design Conference. I am your host as ever, Fudj, and today I'm joined by my comprende, my good buddy Kevin Podas from Palette Swap itself. We're doing a little into Palette Swap thing. So Kevin, you are an editor for Palette Swap, and this is going to sound dumb. This is going to be a stupid question, a stupid thing to ask you to elaborate on. But could you explain?
There's no stupid question. There's no such thing as that. Just stupid.
Here we go.
Stupid people. Is that how that goes? There's only stupid people who ask normal questions.
I don't know, bro. You're going to be a CEO in no time. Talk like that. There's no such thing as stupid question. There definitely is.
Hey, I learned from the best. I learned from the best.
Yeah, the boss man symbiote is taking over him, and he's starting to fucking talk like a boss. I was wondering if you could because when I first got into hard drive, when I first got into stuff like this, it sounds dumb to say, but I feel like I didn't really understand what an editor does. Obviously, the name sounds self-explanatory. They edit stuff, sure, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that. For the viewers at home who might be curious as to knowing more about the process behind what we do and some of the guys behind what we do, what would you say you do as an editor?
Well, besides the obvious, which is editing people's articles and editing my own stuff and everything else, we have a lot because it's myself, Jake Menes, Joe Tillelli, and Parker Johnson, and we get together and figure out basically. We kind of have like a calendar of stuff we want to hit sometimes. Like, for example, if there's like a new Zelda game coming out, it's like, okay, what Zelda articles do we already have? What can we say ahead of time? And kind of want us to have stuff ready for when the thing happens instead of like reacting to it right after it happens. And sometimes like if there's a breaking news event or something, obviously, you want to try to get something out as soon as possible. But with like stuff like game releases and things like that, we can plan ahead and want to be like a part of the conversation as it's happening when people are talking about it, because on social media people have the attention spans of goldfish. So it's like if the new Zelda game comes out and we get to it too late, nobody gives a fuck anymore. Everybody's on to the next thing. They're playing Astrobot. They're playing what's the other one? UFO 50. They're playing 50. They have 50 new games to play in UFO 50. They don't give a fuck.
How do you beat that?
Yeah.
There's 50 games in one.
Yeah.
It's not fair to other games.
I know. It's really not.
No.
Like, where the fuck do they get off?
Yeah, where does the fucking buck stop, huh? 51 games? 52?
Really? And basically, I know we write a lot of stuff. We edit the stuff. We kind of plan it out and strategize and kind of figure out what the voice of Palette Swap is, what that kind of consistent tone sounds like, and keep that consistent across all of the articles. And of course, if you're watching the YouTube channel and you haven't read our articles, what are you crazy? Get over there, paletteswap.site.
Not just editing, but also you guys are involved in the picking. You pick the jokes, right? You get to curate them. So, there's ever a joke that doesn't land? Ever? It's
does it ever?
This guy's fault.
Even like I've recycled some of my own stuff where I'm like, this maybe wasn't funny for a satire article premise, but I could use it for something else. Like a sketch or a video or something else somewhere else.
Sometimes it's just a tweet. I think,
exactly. And sometimes it could be that simple. And like finding the line of what that is can be kind of confusing. I think the more that we do this, the more clear that becomes, because like sometimes we'll have a really funny pitch and we're like, maybe this would be a tweet. And also like if it's something super, super relevant, you want to get to it ASAP and just make a pithy observation about it without like writing the article, having to edit the article. Joe makes the image. Like it's a whole operation. And sometimes we have done that, like when James Earl Jones tragically passed away. We went back and forth pitching jokes, I guess, about like more about like the situation, but about like how Disney has kind of handled it, where he's like lent his voice to
AI and stuff.
AI
right? Yeah.
to be Darth Vader for infinitum. We just were like pitching articles back and forth, and it's like, okay, like I'll write the article. I think Jake edits the article. Joe makes a picture. Parker posts it on social media. Bam, we get it done. And we want to be there, like one of the first ones to say something about it. Like, and obviously, like sometimes it's like, is it worth the whole article? Is it not? That's where we all kind of, put our heads together and figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's different specializations within the editing team. We've got Joe making the images, Parker's a social editor, Jake is our ChatGPT specialist, and you're kind of the dick joke wizard. Whenever we specifically have like a dick joke, we're like, get Kevin on that shit. He loves dicks.
Yeah, and I get out my my science gear. Yeah.
Put on the goggles.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kevin, it is show tradition that I ask my guests for a fun fact about themselves. Do you have a fun fact that is so fun that I'm going to say yippee and jump up and down in the air or excited?
Yes. It's I guess it's more of a funny story than a fun fact, but still something that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've told this story on my old podcast, Thought Cops, before, but it bears repeating. About 5 years ago, I took a trip to Japan by myself. I was there for about 2 weeks. Went from Tokyo to Kyoto to Osaka. Amazing country, saw a lot of really cool stuff, and like obviously as a gaming anime aficionado, there's so much like amazing stuff.
Yeah,
and
that sounds amazing and exhausting.
I mean, like there was not even enough time. Like I want to go back like ASAP because there's so much I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
But when I was staying in a hostel in Kyoto, Nintendo's world headquarters are located in Kyoto.
Oh my god, you met Mario.
Almost. I almost did.
Yippee!
Yeah, he was out sick, I think, with COVID that day. He was the first one who had it. This is 2019.
That's right.
He was patient zero. Yeah, I know nobody really ever talks about that. Like he's the one who ate the bat or whatever people are saying.
Yeah.
Like it was all really was him.
I mean, he does everything. He's bound to. He gets around.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise. You'd think he'd get more diseases, to be honest.
Right. He's a doctor. He's around like sick people all the time.
Oh yeah.
But while I was there, I had to take a trip to the building, and I know like they're super secure. You can't go inside.
Yeah.
You can only look at it from the outside. But just like knowing it. Yeah, I tried to jump the fence and they shot me.
Yeah.
No, but I did. I went to the front gate, and there was just this like one security guard. It was this like really old Japanese man, and he was confused at what the fuck I was doing. Because so basically, like I had my Switch with me in my backpack, and I'm going to take a funny photo in front of the company sign. It's like the big like gray Nintendo logo out in front of the building. Like you can stand next to that and take a picture.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people do, but there was a passerby, and I don't really know much Japanese, so I just was like a photo, but he's like really kind of confused, and I just had to like pantomime like a baby, like a camera. He's oh okay, and he takes my phone and. I take a normal picture in front of the sign, and then I rummage through my backpack and I grab my Switch and like I want to do a funny one, and this isn't really as much of a meme I guess now, but like at the time there was like the soy face like Nintendo Switch thing, like you got the Switch,
yeah.
And I did that, and I was holding the Switch in one hand, and I did the face like pointing at the sign and stuff, and like. It was already one of those things I was like a little bit like self-conscious to be doing, because I'm like, no one's gonna. I just have to shut that part of my brain off. Like I know it's gonna be weird to anybody who sees, especially the old guy just like looking at me like, what is this guy doing at the gate of this company?
Yeah.
And then right as I did that, like a dozen guys in suits walk out of the building, and they stop and stare at me, and then they all just like start like cracking up and then walk away. And like I'm like, who was like? I didn't get a good look. I'm like. For all I know, like a Miyamoto or somebody could have been in that group and like stopped and laughed at me.
Yoshiaki Koizumi, Junichi Masuda, they're all there.
They must have been like going out to lunch or something, because they walked out of the building like all like full like black suits, walking together, talking, and they just like stopped and like stared at me like, and then just like they saw me do the soy face thing, and they're just like cracked. They just started laughing and just like walked away.
Do you think they were laughing unironically, or they were in on the soy face thing?
I've thought about this. I think like the more I think about it, the more I'm wondering if they're like, oh my god, this again.
Yeah.
Another American guy showing up doing the fucking soy face meme in front of our sign.
Yeah.
Come on, like, this is the 5th one this week.
Yeah.
Really? You know, you gotta laugh.
That's funny. They're
or they
rock
just
stars.
were like, yeah, they just who the fuck knows, man. But it's one of those stories where it's like, yeah, it was a little embarrassing, but it's something I look back on quite fondly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no amount of embarrassment in the moment can stop you from having the fucking picture for life and always being able to look back
Exactly,
on it, you know?
exactly.
Yeah, that's good though. That is a great story. I will jump up and down and say yippee after this call is over because I love that. Okay, brilliant. Well, in the interest of preserving my voice, because I'm a little bit unwell still and not totally
You got
recovered.
COVID from Mario.
Yeah,
right?
I did. I was out at the Mushroom Kingdom for unrelated. It was actually nothing to do with Mario. I was just out there on business reasons, you know, networking. But yeah, I'm still not like 100%, and I've been awake for a very long time. So can I just bang this shit out? Can I just fucking get into mine? Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
All right. Here's my pitch. Here we go. Character creators, they're in right now. People love them. They're all the fucking rage. People sit in those things for 4 to 6 hours. They obsess over their characters. You know, they eventually get one done and they're not happy with it. Or, you know, maybe they play Monster Hunter and they don't realise they could be wearing full fucking armour the entire time. Dark Souls, you don't see your character's face. You know, you're wearing a helmet all the time in those fucking games. What I think people don't realise yet, and what I want them to what I want to help them realise, is that that's really all they want to do. They actually just want to make characters. They don't really want to play the game. You know, especially in a lot of these games that are popping up. You know, Baldur's Gate 3 is a good example, but Dragon's Dogma 2's character creator fucking took off earlier this year.
Yeah.
Dragon Age, the Veil Guard is one that a lot of people are talking about. I try not to get mixed up with my Dragon games, but I mean, Dragon's Dogma 2 not exactly a Western RPG, but it's got, you know, those kind of stylings.
Inspired.
Yes.
Right?
And, you know, I joke about JRPGs a lot, and I've ragged on JRPG fans. Let me say this. Western RPG fans are the horniest people ever. There has never been a hornier sect of people. It's like, it's crazy. I've never
Why
known...
do you think that is?
I don't know. It's something about RPG fans in general. I mean,
yeah.
I guess they are the video games that most frequently depict sex in like a relatively non-gratuitous way.
Is it because like the idea of like role playing as a character or something in a fantasy world, the first thing people do is like, I want to fuck.
Yes, I think so.
Like, I'm gonna kill a dragon later on and whatever, save the kingdom, but I need to fuck first.
Yeah, like no one's jumping into Slay the Spire like, right, where's the sex? You know, I think that's very possible. Yeah, like I say, I think they're the games that most frequently depict sex in a non-gratuitous way. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 straight up has dicks, and I don't know if I've ever seen a video game dick before, like it just flopping out there, you know.
Yeah, it feels like a missed opportunity. How has it taken this long?
Yeah, I guess it is a missed opportunity. Yeah, well, you know, Switch 2 around the corner. What people need to realise is this is all they want to do, and that's fine. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a game just for you. Now, here's the thing. There's a psychological trick involved in here, because I think if you make a game and market it as just a character creator, I think all the character creator sickos out there wouldn't play it. I don't know what it is, but there's some kind of psychological trick going on where they need to be made to feel like they're buying a full-on, straight-up, ordinary game, an RPG, like a Western RPG, and then it needs to just go all the fuck in on character creation. So we're marketing this, we're packaging this thing as a big-ass Western RPG like Baldur's Gate 3, like whatever. I'm going to give it some generic kind of Western RPG name, you know, Lightkeeper's Journey. It's Lightkeeper's Journey. It's got like a...
And you can be the Lightkeeper.
Yeah, sure, fuck it. You know, knock yourself out. You buy a Lightkeeper's Journey for 60, whatever it is. Get in, and it's like, create your character. And you're like, fuck yeah, baby, this is what I'm all about. You sit there, you obsess over it for 6 or 7 hours, and you're done. And then it's like, right, make NPC number 1. And you're like, huh? And you spend however long making NPC number 1, and it's like, right, make NPC number 2. This is the Western RPG. There's a lot of NPCs. And let's be real here, you want to make all of them. So that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to make every character in this game. 20 hours down the line, you're going to be at like, make the blacksmith's daughter's boyfriend's hairdresser. You're in there. 4 to 6 hours on the blacksmith's daughter's.
Now that's world building. Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally world building, right? You get to make all the characters in the world. Awesome. But you want to take your time on it. You can't be faffing about this. You've got to take it seriously. So if you don't take long enough, if you don't put enough care and attention into your created character, the game will decide that you don't care enough about that character, and they will be brutally executed in front of you and no longer show up in the game. And these are in-depth animations. This is like Mortal Kombat, like fatality stuff. Like if you take like just 1 hour making a character, you get like an Indiana Jones spike trap just slowly descends on them. They scream, they get crushed, loads of gore.
Oh my god.
They're gone.
Like if you make a guy with a super plain face, they just rip his fucking spine out.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You don't care about that guy. They want you to build a world that you've put a lot of care and dedication into. So the thing is that the amount of time that it takes for the game to deem that you care enough will change between every entry, and you'll have no way of knowing how long it will require for your character to be spared. I'm going to say it ranges from let's say 2 to 10 hours. No indication. You'll just have to fucking, you just got to play it by ear, raw dog it a little bit. You're making all these characters, and these animations. This is in-depth stuff. I don't even know about Mortal Kombat, but the fatality animations in Mortal Kombat, I think they take up like a total of like half or maybe more of the file size in those games, because that shit is crazy. It's super in-depth, This shit's like that. You got spike traps coming down. I think at one point another guy. Maybe you have to create comes on the screen and just Kali Mars one of them, rips their heart out. All this shit like this, and eventually, finally, you've however many hours later, a lot, you've made your 500 to 600 NPCs, and bad news, buddy, we kind of blew the budget on the character creator and the death animations. This game sucks. This game is shit. I would say it's vaguely MMO light. It kind of looks like Toontown. I got Toontown in my mind. I can't stop. Now
I'm imagining the characters from Toontown being smashed into a paste.
Yeah. I don't think that's super off-brand for Toontown. They could have done that. This is a spiritual successor to Toontown, which got tragically shut down over many years ago, I think. Yeah, rip Toontown. We're bringing it back, at least the visual style. I mean, it is a very Western RPG thing. I guess what I'm saying is it has roughly the same visual fidelity as Toontown.
Because of the budget.
Yeah. I mean, that character creator, the animations, that's a lot. And you wanted this. People. I don't think people will get that mad. They'll get into like a 3 out of 10 video game, but they made all the characters in it, and that was the game for them. Western RPG fans, get excited. There is sex in the game. Woo!
Woo!
Oh yeah, baby.
Let's go home.
With characters who you made, who you can ship and write about and do fan fiction about for the rest of your life. Yes, the game itself is terrible, but it has sex. It has characters you made. Let's be real. That's why you bought the Western RPG. Also, the characters that fucking die during the character creation, that will affect the actual game. Like if you made an NPC who has a side quest with not enough care and didn't take enough time, and the game killed him, well, you're locked out of that side quest in the main game. And this can happen to the main characters too. You can get locked out of main character progression because your guy got smacked by a giant fly swatter in character creation, or fucking Godzilla descended on them and split them in half, or whatever other crazy shit we've got going on. Fucking Ghost Rider showed up and fucking pulled their spine out of their back or whatever. And there you have it. There's Lightkeeper's Journey. You're welcome, RPG fans. It's all you've ever wanted.
You said so the death animations are going to be super intricate, right?
Oh yeah.
When they get killed. How about the sex animations? Are those also going to be like super, or do they blow the budget on the death animations, and the sex animations are just like boop boop boop
yeah,
boop, like
yeah,
2 frames per second?
I think it has that. I think that's the soundtrack right there.
Boop, 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 boop. Like an Atari game.
Yeah, like really flowery, evocative dialogue. You're talking to your potential partner, and then it just cuts to a screen of like both their models kind of T-posing, just kind of going forwards and backwards, and it says sex.
That's just God intended.
Yeah, it says sex on top of the screen in like word art.
Because without that, we would be unsure what they were doing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Subtlety's okay, but sometimes you just gotta put it out there.
You can only afford to be like subtle if you have the budget for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you don't have, you got to like explain like what's going on. It's like that's why like 8-bit games like had such like you couldn't afford like we mentioned there were not penises, like there was probably some penises in like old Atari games or something, but like most of the time it's like even if there was, we probably wouldn't even notice because it's like it's an extra pixel or two hanging around.
Yeah. We don't have the budget for subtlety, I think goes on the front cover actually.
And I like that. It's honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's $69.99, okay? But just want to let you know up front before you buy, we don't have the
budget for subtlety. Games these days, they're not honest, you know? If Starfield if Starfield just said this shit mid on the box, maybe I would have liked it more. There you go. Lightkeeper's Journey. It's
beautiful.
It's sex and character creators. What the fuck else matters for you guys, huh? All right, Kevin, hit me. What you got for me today?
Okay. So I come from a bit of a comedy background.
Oh, sorry. By the way, reminder: our illustrator is called Cheesy. If you have any specific,
Cheesy.
Yeah, he's Cheesy.
Okay.
You know him by another name, but our illustrator is called Cheesy.
Yeah.
If you have any specific requests for Cheesy, just let him know. Just tell him in this video. Cheesy,
okay, I'll think about
Cheesy,
it. Yeah.
I want like a relatively generic fantasy RPG NPC getting smushed by the Indiana Jones spike trap, or maybe having their spine pulled out by Ghost Rider. Sorry.
That was all I could think about was like the animation, like as you were saying it, of that happening.
Yeah.
Like, so I come from a bit of a comedy background. I did stand up for a while. I would like to get back to it, but I've kind of fallen more into the podcasting and the writing and everything else like that over the last couple of years. But I was thinking back on the sub stories in Yakuza games because I feel like I was like thinking of like what could I make a game for the show, and I feel like there are enough like half-baked concepts for full games in the Yakuza games that only end up like they're fun as little side missions, but like if they were made into their own like full games, they would probably suck.
Yes.
Maybe not though. There's a lot of potential lying there.
I think the dating app sub story comes to mind where Kiryu gets onto a dating app, and I think he literally just goes by the username Kiryu, and you're talking to a bunch of like real FMV women, but Kiryu's still just Kiryu.
And again, like maybe that could work. Maybe people would pay $70 for that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to a specific sub story in Yakuza 5. So I mentioned like my comedy background, but there is a series of sub stories in that game where you do stand-up comedy. Or I guess like I forget the I think it's called manzai or something like that. It's some specific kind of comedy in Japan. Yeah, it's called manzai. It's like a duo act.
Okay.
Like there's the goofball and the straight man.
Oh,
whatever.
I think I've played this sub story. Is it in Yakuza 2? I've played 1 and 2.
I believe it was in, unless they added it to one of the other ones. I know it was in 5 for sure because you play as Kiryu's stepdaughter, I guess you could say, Haruka.
Yeah.
And then she has to like join there's like this like failing comedian who needs a duo partner for like doing comedy.
Right.
And then you fill in and take the role. And basically, like I would want to take this to kind of more a global approach to, because like we don't know, like manzai comedy is like you can understand it, but like if you watch it, like even in the game, like you're supposed to like pick the right response. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say. Like, you slap him on the head, like say something like goofy back to them. It's just like I don't know what the hell we're supposed to say here.
I think they love slapstick a lot more in Japan than we do over here, and I'm very jealous of that because I fucking love slapstick, and I think that shit's hilarious.
I feel like slapstick is going to make a comeback. I would recommend, like, have you seen the movie called Hundreds of Beavers?
I've been recommended it this year. I have to watch it this year per a contract with my friend. Highly recommend it. It is a full-on slapstick Looney Tunes cartoon, but real life, black and white, guy hunting people in beaver suits, and more. I won't say anything else, but if you like slapstick, you'll love Hundreds of Beavers. Yes, I want slapstick back. I want the slapstick renaissance. I think it's making I think we've become so sophisticated with our bullshit satire and opinion pieces. Now we're going back to slapstick. Yeah, slapstick comedy. Like you bonk someone on the head. No, that's funny. Yeah, yes. The Three Stooges, like Literally,
That's funny.
The Naked Gun movies, specifically 1 and 2, are two of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, those are fucking great. I actually watched those for the first time like a few months ago.
Oh, they're so good, aren't they?
So like, I want to take like the idea of comedy and bring it to gaming, because I feel like that hasn't been done and outside of this sub story, unless I'm missing something. And if I am, like, say something in the comments, recommend me a comedy game, because I don't know if there is one. But I want to say, like, so in this specific sub story, there's like a laugh meter and you got to say the right stuff. I want to have this be sort of like the hero's journey of being the open mic stand-up comedian. You know, you start off in these low rent, dingy dive bars doing your set for the first time to nobody who's paying attention.
And as any comedian would tell you, any stand-up comedy career is the hero's journey. This is already very
exactly immersive. Yeah. And I think there would be like, you would kind of like move your way up, you would make connections, like there'd be sort of these RPG elements in there, like not unlike the Persona 5 like dating sim and everything like that.
Social links.
The social links, yeah.
With the guy who tried to fucking heckle you, the guy who gets high backstage.
You have rivals, and you can kind of like learn new techniques from them.
Yeah.
Like some guys like, hey, you should try out, and then it's like it doesn't really translate to the game. It's like you just have to hit X twice or something like that, and then it's like, okay, this is a new technique, like a new special move.
Oh. Kevin, I think you'll hold up, Kevin. You've paused on camera. It's okay. It's not a disaster. You might want to disconnect from the call and reconnect. You've. Is this part of his bit?
A way that you tell the joke on stage. Excuse me? Kevin? No, hold on. I'm waiting. Can you not hear me? Hold on.
Very good timing. Yes, I can see and hear you now. Sorry, continue.
If it was funny and genius, we'll leave it in.
I've got to keep that in. That's too good.
So the whole thing of like networking and like learning special moves. So it would kind of take elements from like almost like RPGs and fighting games. Like you have like I guess it would be more akin to like quick time events.
Okay.
You'd have to hit a series of buttons to like pull off a special maneuver, like a joke, a sequence of jokes.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, you learn the really simple stuff like the rule of threes.
Yeah, and then you get like a social link with like a right-wing comedian. He teaches you to joke about abortion or some shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And you learn like you have your edgy humor, and then you have the other people who are like, we should be speaking truth to power, and then you kind of like bring in all these different skills and abilities from the people you like meet and learn, and you can upgrade to like from dive bars to like fancy comedy clubs, and then eventually you're selling out Madison Square Garden and you're opening for Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's the final boss.
Yeah. Final boss Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Adam Sandler is the final boss because he's
the final
he's
boss
the Sandman.
of comedy.
Yeah, the final boss of comedy, the Sandman.
Sandman's the final boss in Punch Out too, dude.
Oh my god.
It's perfect. The mapping.
Holy shit. Yeah, it works perfectly.
What a throwback.
And like you have to use all of your abilities you've learned over the game, like to defeat him. And then like Adam Sandler pulls out his guitar and he does like musical comedy. And then of course you have yours too, and because you picked it up from like somebody you met.
Yeah.
And you kind of do your musical comedy. Like he starts doing the Hanukkah song, and you come back at him with something else.
It's like a 5-stage boss fight. You pull out with your crazy shit.
He has
like
dummy. Yes. Carrot Top with the fucking props and everything too. Like the fucking like classic clowning is the thing too. You got the horn and everything, miming, clowning. Yeah. And I think like the more I think about it, I want to have like not actual like famous people in the game. Like Sandman would be like clearly an Adam Sandler like inspired character, and then there would be other ones like throughout like the story who are maybe inspired by other comedians. Like I don't know. There's one boss is like Joe Rogan. You got to go on his show.
Oh god.
And you gotta, something like that. You gotta podcast.
Survive.
You gotta.
You just have to survive.
Yeah, that would be. I'm trying to think if there's any other like crucial elements. Like obviously the laugh meter would kind of be like what you want to hit first to win. And if you say the wrong thing, you see it kind of goes down. And I don't want to spoil something from another game. But there is a certain game that came out in the last few years where when you fight the final boss in the next phase, his health bar goes like off to the side of the screen. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm not going to ruin it.
I'm
but
trying to think if I do.
I'll tell you later because it is kind of.
Okay, sure. Maybe the comments will figure that out before I do anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure like somebody will ruin it in the comments anyway. But that would be the Sandman's final like phase would be
He's
like
too funny.
That moment from that game was so hype, and then all of a sudden he just goes like full throttle.
People on Twitter years later, like, I've never gotten over this moment. This fucking comedy bar. Timing
matters. Like, you can't just say the right thing. You have to say it in the right sequence at the right time. So if you press like XO triangle, you have to go XO way to beat triangle. So otherwise, it's like the joke is like it feels like robotic.
It sounds like you've got a fairly Persona level split, where those games I'd say are like 60% social links and kind of visual novel, like talking to characters and building relationships, and 40% main gameplay, which in this instance is being up on stage. So, pseudo visual novel, a lot of narrative stuff going on here, a lot of lovable characters to meet, and
very lovable
and terrible humans, like literally some of the worst people you can imagine. And you kind of have to befriend them because you got to learn, you've got to learn fucking Trucker Dave's fucking January 6th routine, because that kills in some crowds,
So there would be like, it would be mostly like kind of the social links, and then also these battles, which would be kind of like quick time events for the most part. Not like flat out RPGs, but it would be like an RPG meets a quick time event battle.
I was thinking maybe pseudo boss battle. You could work like a gong show in there. Do you know what I mean when I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a gong show once, and the reason I joked about ventriloquist earlier is because I think I've told the story before, but I literally watched a ventriloquist go up with his puppet and get gonged off before he spoke.
Oh my god!
All three people who have like the paddles that you raise to get him gonged off raised them before he could. They just didn't want to hear it, and he quite rightfully was like, "I didn't get to fucking speak," and they're like, "The rules of the show, brother."
Yeah, we don't want the puppet.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
We do not want the puppet. So, like, the gong show would kind of be like, in Kingdom Hearts when you unlock the arena and you can kind of go back and, like, go through and, like, there's, like, gauntlets.
I thought you were going to say the Little Mermaid stage, but I'm glad you went.
Okay, yeah. I'm just thinking of, like, some, like, kind of, like, optional, like, turn. A lot of games have the optional, like, battle arena you can do.
Yeah, Yakuza does.
That would be. Yeah. Like, I guess there would be, like, a harder gong show, and then at the end you fight Sephiroth. Or, obviously.
No, you should fight Sephiroth.
Well, fucking keep him in there.
It should be actual Sephiroth doing stand-up.
Yeah. He's in Kingdom Hearts. Why can't he be here?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what a joke Sephiroth would tell. Something about like being at like a comedy bar and having one wing. Like, the wings of this place suck. I only got one or some shit. And the crowd fucking erupts.
Tip your bartender, folks.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. What was it called again? Did you have a name?
That I did not think far ahead to a name. You might have to help me out on this one.
Laughuza.
There we go. Laughuza.
I mean, hey, comedy is... What is comedy if not just like the mafia and the mob and the Yakuza in real life?
You're not wrong. You're really not wrong.
Actually, the toughest people in the world doing comedy.
Bravest too.
Oh yeah.
Smartest also.
Well, there you go. There you have it. That is the Lane Design Conference, another edition in the books. Thank you very much for joining me, Kevin. It was a pleasure to do this to someone I'm more familiar with and just kind of hang out and vibe, as it were. So thank you very much. As always, chat, viewers, gamers. I don't know why I said chat. I've got some kind of brainworm recently. The straw poll that you can vote on to decide what was the worst game will be in the pinned comment and also in the description. And if Kevin wins, he will be added into the Hall of Lame, which means I'll have to do I'll have to do a silly animation at the end of the next episode, which is always a pain in the ass. So I always hate it when I fucking lose. I've got an extra motivator because if I win, I don't have to do the fucking animation. I actually haven't checked. I'm pretty sure fucking Derek Acosta from Mega 64 beat me last time, so I think I've got to do that for him. So stick around. You might see my fancy animation in a minute. When I say fancy animation, I mean dragging and dropping a bunch of stuff in keyframing in Sony Vegas, but
it's going to be a lot like the sex in your game,
yes,
right?
it's going to have the boop 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 noise.
Yeah.
So if Kevin wins, he gets a boop 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 noise. So
God, I hope so.
Don't do that.
I want that noise.
Don't give that shit to him. Make your voice heard.
Guys, I need the noise, please.
He does not need the noise. He doesn't need anything. Make your voice heard in the straw poll. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.